Alright, yo guys, how's it going? It's your boy, the Geeky Gangster here coming guys today with another video, boys. We are officially back on this channel, back to creating content, and we are in a brand new year, January 1st, 2024, boys. Let's go, 2024. Drop your guys' New Year's resolutions in the comment section down below. And before we get into this one, if you enjoy it throughout any point, hit the like button. I don't want to spam too much on my first video back, but we gotta advertise a little bit, boys. Just drop your New Year's resolutions in the comments down below. It would help me a lot. Because it boosts the algorithm. That's why I truly want you to do it. But I also do want to read about your guys' interesting New Year's resolutions. But without further ado, I watched 150 movies last year in 2020. Well, this year, at the time of recording, last year, at the time of you guys watching this, I watched 150 movies in 2023. And I want to rank them from worst to best, from 150 to movie number one, all in today's video for you guys. Maybe, with a small description, we're going to try to sort of bam through these because there is 150 of them. Obviously, I don't want to spend a minute talking about each and every movie because then it's going to be a 150-minute long video, and I don't think either one of us want that. So, so you guys are probably wondering, it's going to be interesting in the beginning because what are the worst movies I watched in 2023, boys? I got my movie theater shirt with my suit jacket on for this video, boys. Oh, man, I'm feeling fresh, honestly. But the worst movie, the least fresh movie of 2023 for me was The Ghost of Monday. The Ghost of Monday was sort of a random Xbox rental. I just decided to pay $3.99 to see one night. I was looking for new movies on the Xbox store, and I stumbled across it. It looked promising. The premise of it was promising. This paranormal investigative team goes to a hotel in Europe, basically, and does their thing. The problem with it is that it was completely overly fake. The acting was bad. I mean, it wasn't even really paranormal. It's just a whole bunch of weird stuff that they were pushing into the movie. Not even the good type of weird. It was just awkwardly weird of a movie. Not even ghost. It was weird bad guys in the basement. It was very stereotypical. There was nothing good about it. It was very obvious. It was very dumb. It wasn't well polished at all. It wasn't well acted at all. It had horrible writing to it. Obviously, it was. I don't want to dog on it too much, but you guys get the point. The Ghost of Monday was the worst movie of the year, and multiple other reviews I said the same thing. So I'm not just making that up, guys. Let's see. I feel like the Rotten Tomatoes did like it. The Ghost of Monday. So, I mean, Rotten Tomatoes did give it a 38 out of 100, so 30 points higher than me. IMDb gave it a 3 out of 10. Still not good ratings. 30 points higher than me, not a good rating, boys. 38 is the highest. 38 is the audience score. The critics have only left 3 reviews, so they don't even average that in. But going into the second worst movie of 2023, and this might shock you, this might make some people click off the video, boys, but Asteroid City. I could not stand Asteroid City. I felt like it was just so dumb for me. It just was not my type of movie at all. I felt it was maybe more tiresome. I tried to sort of push through it. I didn't really like the whole set where they were on a set and they weren't on a set, but then they were on a set, and then they were just going to this all it was bam, 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 constantly changing. It felt sort of random. I think it wanted to feel random in a sense, but just another movie that just did not hit the spot for me. Movie number. Wait, shoot, boys, are we missing a movie? Smokes, brother. I think I did. Wait. No, I had Ferrari. That was the one I saw today. We are missing a movie. No way, boys. And we're already 5 minutes into it. Dude, I can't. Oh, wait, no, but I have to. Alrighty, boys. So unfortunately, I could not find the two movies that we were missing. So we're just gonna stick with the top 148 movies, and we might come back to the two that we're missing, insert them in later on during the editing. I don't know. But number 146 for now is but the third worst one. Okay, so yeah, the third worst movie of the year is called Hellhole. Hellhole is a movie where a cop pretends to be a priest so he can work his way into a monastery to investigate mistreatment claims of the possessed, and then he ends up finding a whole bunch of like murdered people. But this movie turns incredibly cheesy at the end, and I just didn't really enjoy it. So, going into 145 is Ferrari, the movie I saw today. I last actually watched the movie of the year, boys. Ferrari, I just saw it today with my dad and my sister. I gave it a 18 out of 100. Dude, this movie I felt like was pretty poorly acted. It was very boring. It was very sluggish. It was very random. They had so much random stuff that had nothing to do with the movie, I felt like. Even though at the end, it does go into like how the actual things played into it, but it just doesn't really explain why we need to be seeing all these different scenes. And it cuts. And it's just very random, boys. It doesn't really keep up with the overwhelming plot of it all a whole lot, and I just did not enjoy it. I felt like it was very. It tried to be old timey, but in the sort of Marlowe old timey way. It does take place in the 1950s, so it does say like, oh, we're old timey. We're taking place in the 1950s, but it was very boring, very sleepish, very poorly done. Number 144, another controversial take for one of our least favorite movies. We have A24's Lady. I think it's, wait, no, this isn't. Is it A24? But it's a Lady Bird. Lady Bird is one of those girl boss movies. But I didn't like it. I feel like it was very plain, very basic, and very poorly done. As well, honestly, I feel like it. Looking back on it, it probably does deserve to be a little bit higher up. Moving into, oh my gosh, you guys are going to kill me. Oh no. Moving into 143, we have Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer was a very long movie. It was one of the longest. I think it was actually the longest runtime I watched in 2023, and it felt even longer than it actually was because it was so drawn out and so boring and so painful to sit through. And I just hated every single second of it because I did the Barbenheimer weekend. You had to go see Barbie and then Oppenheimer. Barbie's like this fun movie, and then you go see Oppenheimer, and it's so dead. It's so dreadful. It's not a good movie. I didn't really appreciate anything about the movie. I mean, I guess it's an important historical event, but I think we could have done without the Oppenheimer movie. No, movie number 142, we have Harry Price, Ghost Hunter. The movie's in the name. Harry Price, a guy named Harry Price, is a ghost hunter, and he's going on a paranormal investigation. But this is one of the worst ghost movies I saw in 2023. This wasn't really that good. I don't remember it a whole lot. I don't know exactly why I gave it that rating. But 141 is In God I Trust. Now, this isn't not actually a religious movie. Basically, it's like a friendship, like two bros meet each other and then they become bros. That sort of heartfelt movie. You could call it heartfelt. It's just not very good. There's not very much context to it. There's not very, it's just not fulfilling of a movie, really. That's why it was so low. Number 140 is another controversial one, Haunted Hospital Hellstat, and I feel like I would also raise that by 10 points if given a second chance to rate these movies, but I can't give myself a second chance, boys. But Haunted Hospital Hellstat, and again, Haunted Hospital. It's right in the name, boys. They're going into a haunted hospital, and it's not that great of a movie. Number 136, we have the new Wonka movie. Now, I don't think this video came out yet, my movie awards, but the second most disappointing movie of the year was actually Wonka. First of all, it does not lead into the actual movie at all, so I don't know, like, it's supposed to be a prequel, but it just does not lead into this into the original 1980s movie at all. It's basically just a random guy in Europe that wants to buy a closed down shop and sell chocolate there. Yeah, and it's very slow, very boring, and it's just not good. It's very random. And it's not a prequel, and it's very disappointing compared to the first one. And here's another thing: the first Willy Wonka, it was like a chocolate factory. It was so it was supposed to be colorful and fun and exciting and for the kids. This Wonka is so dull and colorless and not fun. And so they just took all of the fun out of it and then didn't even like lead into the original thing. So it's a horrible Willy Wonka prequel. And 40 years later, they're just trying to rehash the same movies because they're out of ideas. But 135, I actually watched the first VHS movie, a very some of you guys would consider that a classic horror genre type movie, found footage movie. It is a not cult classic, but it's a cult franchise. There is definitely a VHS cult out there that's watched all of their like 20 movies. They just released a new one this year, I think. And so I do have to catch up on the other VHS movies because now I'm curious. Because I heard one of my favorite horror reviewers talking about VHS 99, I think it is. And she said that it's really good. 99, I mean 1999, not the 99th installment, obviously. But she said that's very good. So now I kind of want to check out the rest of the VHS franchise. But that first one just did not do it for me. I felt like it was just a little bit too... It was a little bit too snappy for me. It was a little bit too cut for me, and not long enough of the short clips. I did like the first clip in it with the lady in the apartment. If you've seen it, I did like that part. But the rest of them were just kind of mid. And that ended up getting a 29 out of 100 for me. But like I said, I really do want to revisit that franchise and give all of their movies a chance. So I feel like it's one of them where I might have rated the sequels higher than the first one, and that's very possible. Number 134 is another controversial one. You guys guessed it. The Menu. I thought the Menu was just sort of weird. I didn't think that we needed the Menu. I mean, they're basically, they're just in a restaurant. I get that it's supposed to be like an artsy film, but like, I don't understand. I guess I just didn't really see the art in it. It's an artsy film that I didn't see the art in, and so that's why I didn't like the Menu. I gave that a 33 out of 100. So we are entering the 30s. So I mean, it's a decent score, like a 33. It's not too bad. We really only had like 10 movies I rated with a horrible rating, and now we're making our ways into the 30s with 133. We got another 33 out of 100 at 133. The Ghost of Borley Rectory. And this is sort of just like Harry Price Ghost Hunter, I think, where it's sort of like this, if I remember correctly, it's an old-timey European house that's haunted, and it's like in the 1800s, and they're investigating a haunted house in the 1800s. Pretty cool. It's not that great. It's a 33 out of 100. It's a hashed-out ghost movie. Number 132, we have another recent one, Silent Night, the Christmas movie where this guy basically tries to bang, 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 kill these people because they killed his son. I believe, yeah, they killed his son in a drive-by shooting because the bullet like grazed his. They killed his son in a drive-by shooting, and so he tries to kill them all on Christmas Day. He tries to get better and everything like that. Honestly, I think it does deserve like a 45. I think this is one of like my 15% of movies that I did not rate too well. 131 was Meg 2, The Trench. I kind of knew this movie wasn't going to be for me going into it. It is a shark movie, and they're in the ocean, and there's sharks, and the sharks are doing shark things. How exciting is that? And so they're exploring the ocean to try to find the sharks that do the shark things. 130 is actually 65. The movie that's called 65, a movie that I was actually excited going into. It has like dinosaurs and stuff, and this guy's he's running with the assault rifle, like, yeah, he's running with the assault rifle and the trailers and stuff, and it makes it look like such an awesome Jurassic World high action impact type movie, but it's really kind of bad. It doesn't have good writing. It didn't have a good, not that great of a plot, and it's just not that great of a movie overall. Number 129 was Black Bear. Black Bear is basically takes place on an acting set, sort of like Asteroid City does. It does do a lot better of a job at portraying that, but basically the main person is an actress, and she's having like mental issues in the woods while she's trying to shoot this movie, and then they're trying to pull her together. But yeah, it was all right. That is kind of an interesting, artsy, creative, unique movie that I kind of would recommend checking out. Is The Black Bear. Now, where are we? Oh, another black movie that came out for 128. Instead of Black Panther, instead of Black Bear at 129, we have Black Panther Wakanda Forever at 128. I felt like Black Panther Wakanda Forever was a huge step down from the first. I felt like every superhero movie that came out this year was sort of just kind of grinding the metal, like, I don't want to do the anti-Semitic thing, but, they were just kind of grinding the metal together, trying to hash out another superhero movie. I felt like that way with Black Panther, Ant-Man, Aquaman was like that, to where they were just really just trying to grind the metal together, push out another superhero movie, and it just gets tiring after a while. And so Black Panther Wakanda Forever got a 35 out of 100. I felt like it was a very generic superhero movie, and it was nothing like the first one was. 127, we already mentioned this one, but Marlowe. Marlowe is an old-timey detective movie, like Smoking the Bite. Oh, how's it going, fellas? I've heard that somebody got murdered today. I'm here to solve that murder. Oh my gosh, it's Marlowe. Yeah, that type of movie, It was not good. It was very drawn out, very sleepy, very boring. I saw this one early enough in the year where I really felt like walking out of the movie theater watching Marlowe, because I was banging my head against a chair waiting for it to end. It was absolutely devastating of a movie. It was a horrible viewing experience. And like I said, I wanted to leave like halfway through it. But I had to stay. I had to finish every single movie I watched this year. That was a rule I set for myself. That's the only reason I finished Marlowe, because it was so absolutely exhausting. I think it does pick up towards the end. But yeah. 126 was Against the Night. Against the Night, this group of teenagers basically goes into a prison. And some weird stuff starts happening to the teenagers. They start disappearing. Then they find out that maybe a few of them are not alive anymore during the movie, perhaps. I don't want to spoil it to anyone. But it's a very stupid alien movie, basically. It is. I hate alien movies in general, typically. But this was like a dumb alien movie, a very dumb alien movie. 125, another alien movie, back to back. Significant Other. This was a more significant alien movie than I guess The Night was. But basically, this couple's walking into the woods, and then one of the spouses disappears, and then comes back as an alien that's portraying. I completely swayed that movie for you guys, but the alien comes back as the husband portraying. The alien is portraying the husband in an attempt to kidnap the wife. And then some things happen with that. Number 124, the Amityville Haunting. Now you guys don't even know what movie I'm talking about when I say the Amityville Haunting, because there's so many movies that were made about the Amityville Horror House. But the Amityville Haunting, it just did not do a good job portraying the house, and I don't think it did necessarily a good job at being like scary ghosts, and I just don't think, I think it really under-delivered for what it was, because it was just trying to portray an idea that already existed. Everybody already knows the Amityville Horror House. If you're into horror, you already know about it. So all they have to do is portray the house all they have to do is use what they're using. Like, they literally stole a house's name for this movie, and they still cannot deliver it. So that's unfortunate. 123 was Rapid. Basically, this girl gets an experimental vaccine and turns into a bloodthirsty vampire after taking an experimental vaccine. It was okay. I gave it a 36 out of 100. It's basically a middle line movie, just below mid. I mean, all of these movies that I'm listing right now are just below mid. It's not too bad. Besides Marlowe was pretty bad. I think that might deserve a little bit lower. But Rapid was not too bad. 36 out of 100. Lady becomes a bloodthirsty vampire. Number 122 was The Exorcist Believer. The most disappointing movie of 2023. They disbanded the religion, as you can see. They disbanded the original Exorcist. They disbanded the entire idea of the franchise. They disbanded everything to make a new movie, but then they didn't call it a new movie. They called it The Exorcist. So I was very disappointed in that, because it was supposed to be an exorcist movie, and when you have an exorcist, you have Catholic exorcist. But yeah, it was a very weird voodoo movie, and the acting was terrible. It wasn't scary at all. There was I think there was two decent scenes. One where she jumped at the window that lasted 3 seconds. It was all right. The final scene was basically all of the hype of this movie was around one scene, and that scene was okay, but it was also over dramatic and kind of cringe and bad acted. So it's just not a good movie at all. I did give it a 37 out of 100. I think I would probably take that to like a 25 out of 100. Just knowing more about it, also after I watched it, I actually studied the movie and like actual reviewers detailing why it was a bad movie, and now I would take it down, noticing the smaller things probably. Number 121 is The Honor Farm. Basically, these people get drawn into an abandoned warehouse. Man, I just realized how quiet it was, man. Oh yeah, basically these people get drawn in. Ooh, I'm not getting so dehydrated there. These people get drawn in to a random warehouse, and some spooky things happen in the warehouse. It was an okay movie. Number 120 is Becky, and I think this one does, looking back on it, I would put this one up as well. But Becky is The family's in the woods and they're having some family issues, and the girl kind of runs away. But then this gang attacks the family without the girl in it. And then the girl is trying to save the family, so she attacks the gang, and then the gang is trying to come after the girl. And so it's basically 10-year-old girl versus this gang, and it has some very nice killing scenes in it. It had some of like the best killing scenes of this year, honestly. It has some of the best suspense of this year. A very memorable a movie. I feel like the little girl, the 13-year-old girl, did an amazing job being the actress for her. Amazing acting crew overall. I hold this movie in higher regards than what the rating says. But Becky is number 120. Coming in at number 119, we have A Haunting in Venice. A Haunting in Venice is another old-timey movie where basically this guy who's like a professional caseworker goes to a seance because he doesn't want to believe his seance, and then creepy stuff happens to the seance, and then he has to solve this paranormal thing, and he doesn't believe anybody. And yeah, you guys probably remember seeing A Haunting in Venice advertised. Number 118 was the Demon Slayer movie. Demon Slayer is obviously a infamous anime movie. It just wasn't for me, plain and simple. I think it was very poorly done, perhaps. I don't think it had the best plot. I don't think it had the best writing. It is interesting. It is unique as a paranormal fan, seeing like the whole like demon thing that they have going on in there. It was pretty interesting, so I gave it a 38 out of 100. Number 117 is a controversial movie, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. I think it did have decent suspense and decent killings. And honestly, I think it had decent writing too. Don't come after me. I think it had a decent plot, and it had decent writing, and it had decent killings and decent suspense. People are going to come after me for that one. But moving into number 1, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey was obviously Winnie the Pooh he became like free market, so anybody could use Winnie the Pooh's image. Like Disney no longer had the rights to him, and so people made a slasher movie with Winnie the Pooh and Piglet. Number 116 was Teenage Kraken. Teenage Kraken is basically like this teenage girl that lives in the ocean to this huge like ocean royalty. Well, she wants to go to high school on land and live a normal land life. A mermaid that wants to live on the land. Number 115 was An American Haunting. This one deserves to be way lower. I got this one wrong when I first watched it. But An American Haunting takes place, as you can guess, in an American mansion, and then basically in Massachusetts, like those old-timey type American ghost, like in the 1700s. And some freaky stuff is happening to this family, and yeah. It's An American Haunting, boys. Number 114. Oh, shoot! Here's one of the movies we were missing, boys. It was Thanksgiving. Because I had it on the same line. There we go. Yeah, I just had Thanksgiving and The Whale on the same line. I gave away two of them. But number 115 was Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving did have some nice killings. But overall, I felt like it was just trying to copy Scream, and apparently it did have the exact same, like, cast members, or some of the cast members, and the exact same producers, and the exact same companies as the Scream movies. But still, I felt like it was sort of trying to rehash the Scream movies and try to get extra cash in their pockets, by making a edgy Thanksgiving movie on Thanksgiving. Number 114 was The Whale. The Whale is a very fat guy, lives in his house all alone, and then people come to him, so he's not all alone anymore, and they try to help him, and then, yeah, he's a fat guy. He's a 500-pound fat guy, and he has the health issues of a 500-pound fat guy, which is very devastating. Number 113 was Annalise the Exorcist tapes. So this is basically a movie about Annalise Michael and her possession case that happened in the 1980s, I think. Uh, so it's based off of a true story of Annalise Michael. If you guys don't know who Annalise Michael was, she is one of the most famous possession cases in the history of the world, basically. I was about to say in U.S. history, but it's not even U.S. history, it's world history. But one of the most famous possession cases ever, Annalise Michael, and it was basically showcasing like what happened to her. Um, the reason it was sort of fake though, so I did give it like a 43 out of 100. But yeah, it's just Annalise Michael. Moving into 112, we have the original Good Burger. Dude, because there were so many Good Burger memes for whatever reason that came out this year. Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. So many Good Burger memes that came out this year, so I decided that I had to give it a watch, especially because Good Burger 2 was dropped and they had Paramount Plus and everything, so it's just very accessible for me. And so seeing it on Paramount Plus and seeing all of the memes prior to that, I had to watch it and I did not enjoy it at all. I felt like it just wasn't for me. But I gave it a 43 out of 100. Moving into movie number 111, I saw The Last Voyage of the Demeter. This was actually the movie I saw while I was traveling in Poland. I went to a English movie theater. I think they're all English movie theaters in Europe, to be honest. They all show the American movies because that's what everybody wants to see. I don't know what to say about that, but I saw The Last Voyage of the Demeter in Poland, which was a pretty interesting experience. However, the CGI was kind of blah. The writing itself wasn't really that great, and I felt like they could have just done it so much better because they had the premise set up. Dracula is on a cruise ship, no, not a cruise ship, but on like a working ship with a small crew, and oh shoot, that's like a bloody pimple this whole time. That's really standing out on the camera. But Dracula is on the ship with his small crew. They could have made it so much better. So it was pretty disappointing because they had the premise down, but they just didn't really deliver. And so, The Last Voyage of the Demeter comes in at 111 with a 43 out of 100. Moving into 110, we have The Nun 2. The Nun is obviously a demonic nun, and she haunts these like real nuns, and then these real nuns had to solve this case. It was, I don't think it was the best movie. I don't know. Movie number 109 is The Mission. I honestly couldn't tell you what The Mission is off the top of my head. The Mission. Oh yeah, The Mission. It's this guy tries to go to North Sentinelese Island and he gets shot. It's based off the true story of an American martyr who tries to go to the North Sentinelese Island and he gets shot with a bow. I love the story. I hated the storytelling. There was some like weird animated stuff going on in there. I hated the storytelling of it. And yeah, number 108, we have Seven Deadly Sins with a 45 out of 100. Seven Deadly Sins. Basically these teenagers go to a party and they play this game and then a demon attacks them. 107, Super Mario Bros., which is a pretty popular movie. Got a 45 out of 100 and barely did not make it into my top 100 movies this year. Super Mario Bros. Is obviously a very hyped up movie. I think everybody sort of went to go see that one. I think, once again, it's just... I don't know what to say about Mario. I think it just was not... I don't think they perfected Mario. I think they perfected Sonic when they first released that Sonic movie. I think that was perfected. When I watched Super Mario Bros., I don't think that was perfected at all. I don't think they did the best. I don't think they earned the gold star on that one. 106, we have The Bad Kids. The Bad Kids was a documentary about these kids that go to a high school for struggling students way out in the desert where they don't have much economic opportunity. I just don't think the documentary was that great. I think they probably I don't think they could have done better given what they had to work with. But I just think compared to actual movies that they had to, write and direct and everything, I think following struggling teenagers around the camera doesn't really deserve any more higher than that got. So moving in to 105, we have The Day of the Lord with 47 out of 100. Basically, this guy is like an ex-exorcist. Basically, he's a retired exorcist, and this demon-possessed girl comes to him, and he just starts beating up the demon-possessed girl. And that's the entire movie. He's just bow, 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 bow on a female. So, but a demon-possessed female, so that's okay. Going into 104, we have To Catch a Killer. Basically, this guy is setting off bombs in Baltimore, and the police have to catch him. Your very typical cop type detective movie. I gave it a 47 out of 100. It's pretty action packed though. Going into 103, we have my birthday movie. I saw this movie on my birthday, boys. And this is actually the first movie that is above mid. It got above a 50, right at 52, coming in at 103. It is Mia Goth's Infinity Pool. Now, Infinity Pool really set in stone that a Mia Goth movie is actually a thing. In the same way they have a Mark Wahlberg movie or a Adam Sandler movie. The actors are the movies. Like, hey, do you want to go see that Adam Sandler movie coming out? I feel like this was the first movie where that was true for Mia Goth, because Mia Goth does have a cult following, and people wanted to go see that Mia Goth movie. Unfortunately, it was a little bit too weird for me, and it was not the good Mia Goth weird. It was sort of had a bunch of like bad weird stuff, and I'm not saying like naughty weird stuff, but I'm talking like not quality weird stuff. Unfortunately, but it still was a pretty good movie. It did get above a 50, which is decent. So moving into 102, we have CTRL, or Control. Basically, this AI is like turning evil and taking over like the minds of people who, this AI turns evil and takes over this like apartment thing, so where they can't leave this apartment. They're stuck in the apartment. Sort of like Evil Dead Rise, if you saw that movie, but it's with AI. It's AI themed. Number 101 was a very unique movie, a very thought-provoking movie. It's I Am a Ghost. So basically, it takes you into this girl who's dead, and she doesn't know she's dead, and she's a ghost. And just sort of experiencing what it would actually be like to be a ghost and not know that you're a ghost, and having like mediums try to talk to you. And so it's very unique and thought-provoking, like I said. However, it is low budget, and it's not that well directed. It just sort of goes from shot to shot to shot to shot to shot to shot. And so it doesn't really deserve that high, but it is very unique and interesting, and I would recommend checking it out. That comes in at number 101. We are now entering my top 100 movies of the year, boys. We made it from 150 to 100. We have The Blackening coming in at 100. This group of black people, which it's like a comedic sort of black people not black people movie, but like a movie that's supposed to be a bunch of comedic black people, and it's funny because they're stereotyping black people. I know it sounds bad, but you guys can Google The Blackening, and they're playing a racist word game, and basically two people try to kill them. It turns out that people are trying to lure them out into this house in the woods to try to kill them, and then you have to try to escape the people trying to kill them. I gave that a 54 of 100. Going into number 99, we have The Miracle Club with a 54 out of 100. In The Miracle Club, a group of old ladies goes to Lourdes, France in search of a miracle. It's a very, very just religious movie. Coming in at number 8, we have Shazam, a 54 out of 100. I liked the original Shazam a lot better. I felt like this one was sort of just mid, and again, so a little bit hashed out. Coming in at number 7, 97, we have The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, with a 54 out of 100. Obviously, you guys know what The Hunger Games is. Going in at number 6, we have Insidious, The Red Door. Obviously, you guys know that Insidious is a ghost demon movie. This boy basically moves to college, and he's trying to get past like the past that this family has had in the previous Insidious films. But I feel like this one, Ty Simpkins actually won Actor of the Year for his performance in this one. So I got another spoiler alert for that movie. Hopefully you guys don't watch this whole movie before you guys watch my movie awards. I hope you guys wouldn't do that. But, yeah guys, Insidious The Red Door, 55 out of 100. Coming into number 95, we have the poster on my wall, boys, The Pope's Exorcist. This movie actually got me into the works of Gabriel Amorth, the actual chief exorcist at the Vatican at the time that he was alive. Very interesting dude, and this movie is actually based off of Gabriel Amorth's actual writings and his actual books. So this is actually based off of a true story, guys. If you guys didn't know that. A lot of people don't know. I don't think they mentioned that it's based off of a true story. I don't know how true the actual story it is, but it's based off the writings of Gabriel Amorth. I think it might combine a couple different exorcisms that he actually did into one exorcism to make it sound bigger. Perhaps they did that. I'm not sure. But yeah, guys, The Pope's Exorcist was really good. I give it, 55 out of 100 isn't really good, but it was well acted. And now that I know who Gabriel Amorth is, now that I know like the whole lore behind the movie, I do enjoy the fact that I watched it a lot more. Going into number 94, we have the Mandela effect. Basically, this guy is trying to turn back time to save his daughter, I think. And there's this whole thing about turning back time. And the Mandela effect, obviously, the Mandela effect is people remember things that didn't actually happen. Coming in at number 93, we have Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. This movie got memed on a lot when it first came out. So Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, had horrible CGI. People didn't really like the characters. The acting was a little bit off. The writing was bad. And again, it was a super hashed out superhero movie. Not that great. Number 92, I finally watched the original Purge movie. I saw a different Purge movie last year. I watched the original one this year for the first time. And The Purge is honestly another one that got better as time went on, because the first one just starts in this family's house, and then they go into like these huge cities, and like I'm talking like in the later installments in the franchise to go into huge cities. The original is actually only in its family's house, and so it's kind of a little bit boring compared to the further on the Purges. But yeah, basically people invade this family's house. Coming in at number 91, we have Pet Sematary Bloodlines with a 57 out of 100. Pet Sematary, things are rising back from the dead, but this dude has to like sort of struggle with his family's background and trying to leave the city, but yeah, then he can't leave the city, and then it's a little bit dramatic, a little bit scary. But yeah, basically, yeah. Going in at number 90, we have Journey to Bethlehem with a 57 out of 100. I saw this one recently. Journey to Bethlehem is about the birth of Jesus and Mary and Joseph getting married, and it's basically a musical about Joseph and Mary getting married, and then having Jesus at the end. I gave it a 57 out of 100. It's a musical. It's not. I think we could have done a lot better on it. Coming in at number 89, we have The Haunting of the Whaley House. Just like the Amityville House, there's been so many movies, so many, shows, and, everybody's talked about the Whaley House if you're into the paranormal. It's just, like I said, it's the exact same as the Amityville Horror House, basically. And they could have done better. I gave it a 50 out of 100. Going in, 826, alright. Going in to number 88, we have Hypnotic. Hypnotic is basically they're playing mind tricks on this dude. And yeah, number 87, we have The Last Exorcism. So basically, this lady's they think this lady's super possessed, and they call this dude that doesn't actually believe in possession, and then he goes, and it turns out the lady actually has demons, and they're trying to get the demons off the lady. I gave it a 50 out of 100. I did enjoy the second one a lot better. Alright, boys. So we talked about The Last Exorcism. We have to talk about number 86. We have Missing. Basically, this entire movie takes place on a computer, and this girl is trying to use like her mom's phone to attempt to track her mom that's like been kidnapped or something. And they're like it's basically like a detective movie that takes place on a computer, but there's no actual detective. It's like this teenage girl doing all the detective work to try to solve like a kidnapping. Coming in at number 85, we have a very interesting movie, How I Live Now, starring the guy that plays Spider-Man. I'm forgetting his name off the top of my head. But I almost said Peter Parker. But the guy who plays Spider-Man stars in this movie, and then the girl that stars in this movie does a phenomenal acting job. I believe she got nominated for Actress of the Year in one of my awards. But How I Live Now, basically a teenage girl is in war-torn England, and the electricity grid gets shut off, and they're traveling through the woods and stuff, and it's a very interesting, very unique movie that I would recommend checking out to you guys. How I Live Now. It's basically like an apocalyptic woods forest type thing, but it's very interesting and unique. I definitely, But I gave that a wait. Where is it? How I Live Now was a 59 out of 100, and then we move into the 60s out of 100. So it's from top 84 movies out of the year out of 150 or 60 and higher, so that's pretty decent. But we have The Lodgers coming in at 60. I think The Lodgers is like these two twins that can't leave a mansion, I think. But I'm not 100% sure, so don't quote me on that. But I think it's two twins that have like paranormal things going on and they can't leave their mansion. Number 83, a movie that I saw very early on in the year, was Puss in Boots out of 60. It was a cute cartoon. Once again, I think they could have perfected it. I don't think they perfected Puss in Boots, but it was definitely a very cute cartoon. I think they did what they were trying to do. And coming in at number 82, we have an interesting one, Run, Rabbit, Run. Oh my god. Bro. Alright guys, but Run, Rabbit, Run was basically like this little girl is creepy and like her mother's trying to take care of her. There's some weird paranormal stuff, there's some weird killer stuff. Kind of spooky. It's not really a scary movie, but it's sort of more like a suspenseful movie. But it was definitely probably another top 10 most unique movies of 2023. So sort of checking out for that. I gave it a 60 out of 100. I don't think it's perfect by any means, but going into number 81, we have Paranormal Activity, Next of Kin. This is another movie that's way deep in the franchise, and everybody's kind of questioning, did we need another Paranormal Activity? Apparently we did, We got Paranormal Activity Next of Kin. We're coming in at a 62 out of 100. It just gets so weird, man. This one doesn't. It's not Paranormal Activity. It's just weird. There's just lots of. They just sort of like toss the grenade and put lots of weird stuff on a farm. Number 80, we have Support the Girls coming in at number 63 out of 100. Basically, some girls work at a sports bar. And I also work at a sports bar, so I kind of related to it. If I didn't relate to it, it probably would have been lower. But yeah, these girls work at a sports bar, and they have to do sports bar. Like, it goes through what it's like to work at a sports bar, but in an interesting way. It's the waitress experience. Coming in at number 79, we have a very controversial movie, Renfield. I feel like most critics did not like this movie. It was just sort of it was a little bit cringe, cringe Dracula. Not really that great of a plot. I don't know if the movie necessarily wanted to be a great movie. It was supposed to be sort of just a nice middle of the road comedic horror, but it didn't really do it for me, honestly. But I gave it a 63 out of 100. I feel like, I don't know, there was aspects of the movie I liked. I feel like it was sort of more polished, I guess you could say. Coming in number 78, we have Happiness for Beginners. These people are walking through the woods and they're being happy, and there's a little bit of romance that happens and a little bit of comedy that happens, and these people are just getting their life together in the woods. Well, these people need to get their life together, and so they walk in the woods together, and it's a great movie. It's Happiness for Beginners, boys. It's literally, it's a happy movie. Coming in at number 77 is The Price We Pay. So basically, these people go and they rob a thrift store, and they're trying to hide out at like this farm, but then crazy people on the farm, and so bad things happen to the people that robbed the thrift store, and just because they robbed the thrift store, they don't really deserve the things that are about to happen to them, and they're getting terrorized and stuff. So it's like a not terrorism movie, but it's like a terrorized, like harming people in very descriptive, vulgar ways type of movie. And yeah, I gave that a 59. Wait, no, I'm higher up. I gave that a 63 out of 100. And coming in at number 76 is The Boogeyman at 63 out of 100. I think there's like a little kid, and the demon goes into this apartment and attacks the little boy. I think. I know it's a demon movie. It's called The Boogeyman, but yeah, coming in at number 75, we have Tar. Tar is a movie about an actual band director, or like violent. I think it's like one of those band directors, a very famous woman, but it's a very interesting movie. Basically, this girl is a director of a band, but it's more interesting than it sounds. Coming in, so we entered the top 75 movies, by the way. Now, coming in at number 74, we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Mutant Mayhem. This was another very disappointing movie because it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's so... I feel like it's easy to make one of these. You know, you just need some pow pow and cool, relaxed, funny turtles that do karate and kick some butt, basically. But yeah, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mayhem. It was very underwhelming because the animation, I feel like the anime style of the animation style of this movie was very poor. I feel like the writing was pretty poor. I feel like maybe the voice acting was a little bit poor. I feel like everything was just under in this movie. Going in to number 73, we have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I feel like this is another franchise that's gone downhill. It's just not that interesting at the third one. I feel like, you know, it was interesting, it was decent, but it just wasn't necessarily for me. 63 out of 100. Going into number 72, I told you guys I liked Good Burger 2 more than Good Burger. This Good Burger 2 has a 64 out of 100 and is sitting in the top 75 movies of my 2023. Going into number 71 is Fresh Hell. And Fresh Hell is basically these people are Zoom meeting during, I think, the coronavirus, or they have some sort of reason that they need to be Zoom meeting, and they ended up getting like killed in front of each other. It's like a killer movie based off of Zoom, and then like they'll be on the Zoom meeting, and then something bad appears on the Zoom meeting. It's not supposed to be on the Zoom meeting, but yeah, you guys get the point. Going into number 70, we have Haunted Mansion, which is the Disney movie about like this mansion that, you know, kooky things happen. Coming in at number 69, we have Blue, that I gave a 64 out of 100. Guys, I do not remember watching this movie, and I Googled the movie, and I don't think I could actually find the one that happened. But wait, no, I think I did find it, and I think it was like this girl was depressed, maybe? I don't know exactly what happens in the movie Blue, but apparently I enjoyed it. I gave it a 64 out of 100. Going into number 68, we have Rose, a love story. Basically, this girl cannot go outside because she's like a vampire, and she'll turn if she goes outside for too long. And she has to wear like a mask and stuff, and then this girl ends up coming to her cabin. But basically, this guy is trying to love and support his wife that caught a disease that turned her into a vampire, and it was a very interesting movie. Another one that I would recommend checking out, one of the top 15 unique movies of the year. I feel like the storyline is mid, but I feel like the acting is really good, and I just really loved the whole concept of the movie. It's definitely like a concept movie. But yeah, going into number... But yeah, this girl is a vampire, and she's stuck in the cabin, can't leave, and the husband has to take care of her. Going into number... No, what was that? Going into number 67, we have Untold Jake Paul, The Problem Child. A documentary about Jake Paul, 65 out of 100. Alrighty, guys, coming in at number 66, we have Prodigy with a 65 out of 100. Prodigy was about this smart girl that's locked in a high-tech, like, CIA laboratory. Coming in at number 65, we have the movie Cuck. I watched this year. It was a huge controversy in, like, 2017. I finally got around to watching it this year. Basically, this guy is like posting stuff online, and he like hates the world and he hates his life, and eventually he becomes a shooter. But there's some interesting things that happen in between there, and yeah, I gave it a 65 out of 100. I went into that movie expecting to hate it, but it got into my top 100, so it's not been too bad. Number 64, we have Elemental. Elemental, you have like the rain and the fire and everything in there existing in the city together. I think like the rain falls in love with the fire, and it's a cute cartoon. Okay, so where are we now? Coming in at number 63, we have The Turning. I keep on getting notifications on my phone, and it's distracting me. I don't know what The Turning is about, I'm going to be honest. Coming in at number 62, we have Amber, the girl behind the alert. This was a January movie for me. Amber, the girl behind the alert, is obviously about the Amber Alert system we have here in the United States, where if like a kid gets kidnapped, they'll be like, beep, 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 beep. This is a Amber Alert. We are looking for a blue van with a license plate number 9765, you know. That sort of thing, and it goes on everybody. So this is basically like how that alert actually got started, the actual Amber that got kidnapped and stuff, and it was a very interesting documentary about it. So yeah, I gave that a 66 out of 100. Coming in at number 61, we have The Love Witch. Basically, this witch puts spells on men to make them fall in love with her, and then there's some romance, and it's very sexual, guys, very sexual. But it's a pretty interesting concept of a movie. I enjoyed it. was a very, so yeah, I give it a 66 out of 100. Going in at number 60, we have The Flash, which is a movie about the superhero, The Flash. And I think, yeah, and he's basically going into like these alternate universes, I think. And so yeah, The Flash is a very put out superhero movie. Going in at number 57, we have Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. It's a Mission Impossible movie. This guy on the motorcycle, this guy's like on the train, this guy's doing the impossible because he's on Mission Impossible. Going in at number 58, we have Big George Foreman. Basically, this guy's balancing being a boxer and a preacher. And so he's like the best boxer ever, and he's like becoming like a preacher, and he opens a church. And this is based off the true story of a famous boxer I don't know the name of. So, but it is based off a true story. It was pretty cool. I give it a 67 out of 100. Going into number 57, we have Gonjiam Haunted Asylum. So Gonjiam Haunted Asylum, they go into... This group of teenagers is vlogging themselves. They're doing like a YouTube vlog where they go into a supposedly haunted insane asylum. Whether it's haunted or not, you would have to watch to find out. But it was a pretty good movie. I gave it a 69 out of 100. So 56 is The Exorcism of Emily Rose. This is another Annalise Michael possession movie. Basically, it goes over the court case of the actual court case of the priest who performed the exorcism on Annalise Michael. So it's very interesting sort of thing going. It's like a sort of historical movie just about the court case itself that happened to the actual priest that performed the exorcism on Annalise Michael. But it was pretty interesting. Going into number 55, we have The Silent Twins. This is one of my first 10 movies of the year as well. Gave it a 71 out of 100. Basically, these... Basically, these twins are mute, and they have other mental difficulties, and so they go through these problems, and they're mistreated at a psych ward, basically. And one of them ends up dying, and yeah, they're basically mute twins, and they go through life as mute twins, and they go through all of these different scenarios together as mute twins, and then they end up in psych wards. And that's also based off of a true story. It shows like the rural girl at the end of it, so that is pretty interesting. Number 54, we have The Shift. The Shift is like, wait, isn't it The Shift, that Exorcist movie? Wait, not Exorcist movie. Yeah, okay, so The Shift is based off of the book of Job in the Bible, so it's sort of a religious movie, but it's sort of like if the Matrix movie meant the book of Job in the Bible and clashed together. So it's very interesting. If you've watched the Matrix and you've read the book of Job, you'll absolutely love this movie, I think. Most Christians are loving this movie. It's a very good sort of Christian movie. It's very exciting. It's not supposed to be like a sit down and go to church religious movie. It's just based off of the book of Job, but it's an exciting movie. Like I said, the Matrix meets the book of Job. Collapses. Nice. 53, we have 4 Good Days. I have to keep checking the time here because, yeah. We have 4... Shoot! And now I'm on low battery, guys. I'm not going to be able to get through this. We have 4 Good Days coming in at number 53. Basically, this girl is a meth addict, and she returns to her mom's house, and her mom doesn't want to let her in at first because she's already let her in too many times, and she keeps messing up, she keeps stealing, she keeps doing that, but she thinks that she's actually going to get clean this time, so she has to survive for 4 days sober so she can get a shot to where she doesn't want to do drugs anymore. So it basically revolves around the addict life. Going in at number... Oh no. Coming in at number 52, we have Schindler's List. I don't think I enjoyed this movie as much as other people did. I don't think I found it necessarily as emotional of a Holocaust movie as other people did. I think The Champion perhaps was a little bit better. I think there's just a lot of World War II movies out there and a lot of Holocaust movies out there. A lot of Holocaust material for sure out there. I don't understand the hype behind Schindler's List, really. I understand Schindler because I think people want to be portrayed as the nice guy sometimes. I think those people that want to be portrayed as the good person themselves and within movies probably like the Schindler's List. I don't think it was for me though. Yikes. But I did give it a 72 out of 100. 51 was Forgiven. Forgiven. This guy accidentally shoots his wife, runs into a church, holds the church hostage, and the people at the church, the pastor's daughter especially, spends time with this guy and leads him to Jesus Christ as his Lord and Savior. So that was a very cool and very interesting religious movie. If you are religious, I think it's a good one to check out. And now, boys, we are getting in to the top 50. Bang, 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 bang. Dude, I think we have to shoot the top 50 tomorrow. Yeah, because my phone's on 10%. I don't think I have enough voice left in me. I don't think I have enough time left of my day. I don't think I have enough battery left on my phone to create the top 50. So we're going to record the top 50 tomorrow, but it's continuing right now, boys. It's continuing right now. Don't worry. Alrighty, guys. I am back a day late. Actually, 2 days later, I think. And we're going to be kicking off the top 50 movies of 2023. Let's go, baby. Coming in at number 50, we have a movie I was shocked I enjoyed. It's They/Them. They/Them features basically a group of teenagers that are dropped off at a gay conversion camp. And there's killers at the camp. And so they have to try to survive. And it's a camp, it's like a mystery killer. People are dying at the camp, boys. It's obviously, a camp in the woods, mystery killer. I think you guys understand the picture pretty well. Coming in at number 49, we got Knock at the Cabin. Now, Dave Bautista, for his performance in Knock at the Cabin, did actually earn the third best actor of 2023 on my list. So that's pretty impressive. It was for that and also his role as in Guardians of the Galaxy as Drax. Shoot. So yeah, it was for Knock at the Cabin and Drax and Guardians of the Galaxy. But yeah, Knock at the Cabin is these people go to a cabin and they find out that they have to sacrifice one of their family members to save the world. Coming in at number 48 is Fat Man, 73 out of 100. This is a Christmas movie that released a few years ago, where this guy is basically trying to kill Santa Claus. Coming in at number 47, we have Firestarter. This is the one where the little girl can start fires, and they have to sort of figure out how to use their powers. Like, her parents also have powers, and they're sort of also on the run from the feds. Coming in at number 46, this is a controversial one and a very big one of 2023. Definitely started 2023 out with a bang with this January one. Megan, obviously the one with the evil robot girl. Little evil AI robot. And yeah. Coming in at number 45, we have Seeking a Friend for the End of the World. By the way, guys, 50 was a 72. Knock at the Cabin was a 72. Fat Man 73. Firestarter 73. Megan 73 out of 100. And Seeking a Friend for the End of the World, also a 73 out of 100, guys. Seeking a Friend for the End of the World is basically this dude. So the world is ending, and everybody knows that the world is ending, and so this guy, there's like different social constructs that happen when the whole world knows that the world is ending. The sort of things that would happen if everybody found that out happens in this movie. This one's interesting. The same actor and 45 and 50 for the 40-year-old version, also the same rating. I mean, what is this actor's name? Year-old version cast. Steve Carell was the person I'm trying to think of. He stars in Seeking a Friend for the End of the World, and he stars in our next movie, The 40-Year-Old Virgin. So the 40-year-old version is about a guy who's 40 years old and still a virgin, and his coworkers like try to set him up and stuff, and then he meets a few girls, and it's pretty interesting. So yeah. Coming in at number 43, we have one of the most recent ones I saw in late December. Anybody but, well, anyone. I keep on saying anybody but you. It's anyone but you. This couple, basically, yeah, they go to Australia for a wedding, and it's like a family wedding type of movie. Coming in at number 42, we have Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves with a 73 out of 100. This one's actually one of the more memorable ones of the year. However, it's not perfect, but it definitely is memorable. Dungeons & Dragons is basically a fantasy movie, sort of like the Lord of the Rings type of thing. And basically... yeah, it's I don't know if it's necessarily like Lord of the Rings. I don't. If you guys want to see the trailer to it, you just go watch the trailer, man. Going in at number 41, we have Sick. Sick is a Peacock original, I believe, where basically these two teenage girls are going to a cabin in the woods. It's COVID-19 related. They're trying to lock down, or they're trying to escape and lock down together. Quarantine together is the word I was looking for. They're quarantined together, and then a killer comes after them. There's a killer in the woods, guys. Coming in at number 40, we have Don't Read This on a Plane. Basically, this girl writes a book, and she goes around reading the book to people, and it goes over like the release of the book. It's all like fantasy, though. It's like a fantasy book release sort of thing. Coming in at number 3, we have The Last Exorcism 2. As you guys remember, The Last Exorcism was way worse, way lower on the list. The Exorcism number 2 did a lot of things better, I think. And one of those things is just some of these movies, like, they don't really know who they are when that first movie releases, and then they sort of get so much feedback. The first one goes viral, and then it's like, hey, you messed up here, here, and here, here. Because this is the movie that we want you to be. And then they just listen to that criticism, and then they perfect the movie that they actually are. And then they release that part 2. And then that part 2 is what the movie should have been all along. It's the perfected version of it. And that's sort of what happened with The Last Exorcism 2. They just fixed a lot of mistakes. It was a very, I thought it was a very decent exorcism movie, a very decent possession movie. And yeah, The Last Exorcism 2, 75 out of 100. Coming in at number 38, we have Honeymoon. Basically, I don't want to get them mixed up. I think, oh yeah, so this couple goes into another cabin in the woods. They're trying to honeymoon in the woods, and then aliens basically lay their eyes on the female in this honeymoon, and so the aliens basically rape the woman, and then it's like, I have an alien in my vagina because it raped me. And yeah, but it's so much better than that, really. It really is. I didn't mean to make light of that situation either, but it is sort of what happened. But the movie's actually good, guys. You have to check it out. Number 37, we have Bloodthirsty. So Bloodthirsty. Wait, no, that's Rapid. I'm thinking of. What's Bloodthirsty? I have to Google these movies, guys. Bloodthirsty movie. Wait, what? Oh, okay. So this girl gets invited to take music lessons with this guy, and then she turns into a vampire. But she's with her boyfriend when she turns into a vampire. And then there's a few different things that happen, like why does she turn into a vampire? And then just her. It's basically just her turning into a vampire while also taking music lessons and another cabin. Not this is a nice house in the woods this time. But yeah, it's a pretty decent romance vampire movie. Uh, yeah, it's just a girl turns into a vampire in this house, and I gave that a 76 out of 100. Guys, I have to go hoop, but I cannot. Unfortunately, number 36, we have A24's horror movie of the year, Talk to Me, 76 out of 100. Basically, you put your hand on this hand and then you talk to the dead, but then demons come through, guys. Who could have predicted that? So yeah, so basically, this girl is trying to talk to her dead mother, and then demons attack her, and demons are oppressing her, and demons. Coming in, and I gave that a 76 out of 100. Coming in at number 35, we have Plane. Airplane goes, but then they emergency landed at, no, wait, no, it goes like, they emergency land, but on an island that's patrolled by very evil people. So now they have to survive. Not only do they have to survive, they need to get resources on this island controlled by evil people without dying. So they survived death once, and now they're going to have to find out how to survive death a second time. And now they're going to have to figure out how to get rescued. Oh, it's a pretty decent action movie. It's enjoyable. It's entertaining. It's a 76 out of 100. I don't think it was anything revolutionary. Number 34, we do have a revolutionary story at number 34 with Cocaine Bear. It's in the title. It's a real life story. A bear did cocaine. In real life, the bear ate like a pound of cocaine and died instantly, unfortunately. In this movie, the bear does cocaine and then turns into a cracked out bear that does some wild stuff. And it's pretty funny, pretty entertaining, pretty, I feel like, well polished. It just feels like a nice theatrical release. So we have Cocaine Bear going in at number 76. Or at number 34, rated a 76 out of 100. Coming in at number 33, we have a shockingly underrated movie called Me Time. Now, this stars Mark Wahlberg and Kevin Hart. Yeah, I didn't hear about it until I just randomly popped across it while like on my streaming, just scrolling through my streaming options. And then I come across this movie with Mark Wahlberg and Kevin Hart that's nobody ever told me about. Obviously, it's a funny movie. Basically, these two dads are trying to reunite with each other. After not spending a long time not seeing each other, they reunite with each other at this guy's birthday party, and some funny, wild stuff takes place. It's a Kevin Hart, Mark Wahlberg movie. You guys probably understand the type of events that are going to take place. Just based off of that, coming in at number 32, we have 1BR. Now, basically, this girl accidentally buys an apartment, and the apartment complex is controlled by a cult, and you are not allowed to leave the apartment complex at all. So now she has to find a way to escape, and she goes through some very horrible things. while trying to escape the apartment complex and navigate her way around this very dangerous cult that she accidentally joined just by trying to find a nice apartment. Coming in at number 31 is The Hunt. This is another one I'm just going to Google really quickly, make sure I know what I'm talking about. I don't want to talk about the wrong movie. My Google's not working. Okay, yeah, so The Hunt is basically these people get placed into the woods, and rich billionaires are going to hunt innocent people for fun, basically. They're going to hunt people for fun because they're billionaires and they can extract innocent people to this land and kill them because they can get away with it. So this girl and some other people have to find a way to survive, and she also wants to take revenge on the people who did this to her. So yeah, it's like it's sort of like Hunger Games in a way. It's actually a lot like Hunger Games. Coming in at number 30, we've entered the top 30, boys. We have Mr. Harrigan's Phone. Basically, this billionaire is tutoring a young boy throughout all of his life growing up, and then one day he's an adult and and then this guy dies, and he's going to college right when he dies, and then some interesting paranormal events take place through this phone, and so it's sort of the relationship between like this billionaire and the kid, and how to navigate that sort of thing, and also like the paranormal side to it, and just it's a sort of nice drama family movie, and yeah, I rated it at 78 out of 100. Coming in at number 29 out of 100 is We Have a Ghost. So basically, this guy captures a ghost on his phone in his home, and it goes viral, and so people are traveling from all over the place to see this friendly ghost named Ernest, and so they have to navigate having a ghost and being famous for having a ghost, but also having to navigate like the ghost's rights, like what the ghost wants, because it's a nice friendly ghost. And they have a nice relationship with it, and they try to reconnect the ghost with its past, so therefore the ghost can move on. Coming in at number 28, we have About My Father. So About My Father is the son and his father are traveling for a wedding because the son's getting married, and the son thinks like the father is an embarrassment, and it's just a nice family wedding movie, a lot like Anyone But You. Is a lot like Anyone But You. This is so hard to keep up with, this list. Coming in at number 27, we have Evil Dead Rise. So Evil Dead Rise takes place in an apartment building where this mother is basically demonically possessed, and they have to navigate having a demon basically in their hallway, and she's trying to do evil things to the family and everything like that. So it's a very fun, very entertaining, very interesting demonic movie. It's one I feel like not necessarily one of the most scariest, but like it's one of the most you feel the most into the movie out of all of the horror movies released in 2023. I feel like. Coming in to number 26, we have Killers of the Flower Moon. Killers of the Flower Moon is basically white people and Native Americans are fighting over oil and some weird stuff. It's kind of popping up, and I feel like they depicted the historical aspects very well and had decent acting. And yeah, dude, bro, I don't feel like I'm in the mood to be doing this. I feel like, I don't know. Alright. But we have reached the top 25 movies of 2023 with The Covenant. The Covenant is basically this military troop has to save this young child and get the young child all across Afghanistan for a helicopter release after the withdrawal from Afghanistan. And yeah, it's a wartime sort of action movie. It's a very entertaining war movie, a very fast-paced war movie, sort of. Coming in at number 24 is A Man Called Otto. Basically, this old man is sort of the neighborhood leader, and some interesting familiar events sort of take place where he's like this old man that's leading the neighborhood. Coming in at number 23, we have The Champion. The Champion is about a real-life boxer who was sent to Auschwitz, but he was a boxing champion, and so he boxed for like food and Auschwitz and stuff. It's basically like a Auschwitz Holocaust movie, but also a movie about this guy's boxing life and the fights that he was in while in Auschwitz, and it's very, very interesting. I watched it right before going to Poland and actually going to Auschwitz-Birkenau. But yeah, it was very interesting. Coming in at number 22, we have No Hard Feelings. Basically, this woman is hired, Jennifer Aniston, or no, it's Jennifer Lawrence, I think. But this woman is hired to take this so like there's these two rich people, and the rich people have a son, but the son is a nerd. The son is a incel. The son is an incel. He doesn't get any pussy. And so they hire this woman to give their son pussy, and then the son and this woman go on dates and fall in love, basically. Coming in at number 24, we have Transformers Rise of the Beast with an 82 out of 100. By the way, guys, we entered the 80s with Evil Dead Rise at 81, and then Killers of the Flower Moon 81, The Covenant 82, A Man Called Otto 82, The Champion 82, No Hard Feelings 82, Transformers Rise of the Beast 82 out of 100 as well, coming in at 21st place. You guys know what Transformers is. I'm not going to explain what Transformers is. Autobots, roll out! Basically, these cars can become big fighting robots, and they're fighting this war between the bad robots that are called the Decepticons. Coming in at number 20, we have Champions. Dude, I have to Google this because I watched one called The Champions, and I'm watching one called Champions, and I think Champions movie 2023, yeah. Okay, yeah, so basically, this coach is coaching kids with Down syndrome to a basketball state championship. So it's a pretty wholesome family sports movie. This coach is like balancing, and there's also this aspect where like coach is trying to like get into this relationship with this girl, and he's also trying to coach a bunch of kids with special needs to a basketball state championship. And so it's very interesting, very wholesome, very cute. Coming in at number 19, we have The Fabelmans with an 83 out of 100. This was actually the first movie I watched on January 1st, 2023, and it spent 43 days as my favorite movie of the year before dropping all the way down to 19 after that original 43 days, or 41 days and first. But The Fabelmans is basically this parent's son is like balancing like college and wanting to be a professional photographer, and they're moving, and he has to balance like high school and stuff. And yeah. Coming in at number 18, we have Hustle with I'm sorry, I have to Google this again. I have no confidence in the movies I'm talking about. Hustle movie 2019? No. That's The Hustle. What? 2022. God damn it. Yeah, so Hustle with Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler's basically NBA scout, and he's trying to like keep his job and get his job back in. He scouts this dude from like a third world country, and then they work together. And he builds like this amazing American athlete, and it's a really nice sports/comedy movie with a running time of an hour and 57 minutes. It's an Adam Sandler movie. I feel like it's a pretty classic Adam Sandler movie. Pretty much what you expect. Adam Sandler finds an athlete, and it's based off of true events. It's based off an actual athlete's story as well, which is pretty interesting. Coming in at number 17, we have another one I watched recently, Dream Scenario by A24. Basically, this guy is appearing in every single person's dreams, and how he appears in other people's dreams will affect how he's treated in real life, from rising to fame to getting canceled, and he goes through different scenarios throughout the movies as other people see him in his dreams, and it's pretty funny. It's very thought-provoking. It's very unique of a film. A24 movies are always unique and interesting. I love A24 so much. But yeah, it definitely is one of the most unique films of the year. Tons of different scenarios. It's, dream scenario. It's lots of different dream scenarios happen throughout the movie. He has to navigate his true wantings in life with rising to fame. Like, how do you navigate being a random person that rises to fame just because you're in other people's dreams? Like, what? But yeah, guys, like I said, it's very unique, very interesting for the 100 at the time. Yeah, it's very unique and interesting, guys. I would recommend checking it out. A24, question mark. Coming in at number 16, we have Love Again. It's a very stereotypical romance movie, but it was a good stereotypical romance movie, rom-com. 84 out of 100. Going into the top 15 movies of the year. Coming in at number 15, we have Sound of Freedom. This was a controversial one. Sound of Freedom is basically about taking down human sex traffickers and taking down sex slavery worldwide. They released, they were giving out like free tickets to it just to raise tons and tons of awareness about the problem, actually globally in real life. And it's just a very interesting story about taking down sex traffickers and the different scenarios you would find yourself in if you were a Fed taking down sex traffickers on an island and stuff. But yeah, it's very, very interesting, a very important movie of 2023, and I enjoyed watching it in theaters very thoroughly, and I gave it a 84 out of 100. Coming in at number 14, we have a much more lighthearted movie with Five Nights at Freddy's. Basically, a fired mall security guard gets hired at a pizza chain to become a nighttime security guard to make sure nobody's messing with the animatronics. The animatronics come to life at night, and he has to survive 5 nights at Freddy's. And there's also some interesting family type stuff that's going on, some interesting scenarios that's going on with his life, and I really enjoyed this Five Nights at Freddy's movie. A lot of people didn't, but I did. I gave it a 84 out of 100, and I placed it at 14th out of 150, guys. Going in at number 13, we have another 84 rating with Strays. Strays is a comedic movie starring Kevin Hart, where these dogs can talk, and this dog basically gets abandoned, and he finds these other dogs to go on an adventure with. Sort of think like a very dirty, raunchy Air Buddies from the early 2000s. If you crisscrossed Air Buddies with the movie Ted, starring Mark Wahlberg, you would get Strays, and it just came together very fantastically, very hilarious, very interesting. It's also a very nice story, experience. What's it called? Like sort of like traveling movie, adventure movie is what I was looking for. But yeah, guys, it's a very dirty, raunchy movie about dogs who can talk to each other and go on an adventure together after they get abandoned. Well, some of them don't get abandoned. Some of them leave their family on their own free will. So it's very interesting. Coming in at number 12, we have 80 for Brady. I don't know if this one deserves to be this. I don't know. Because I saw 80 for Brady like the day before the Super Bowl, and I was excited, and it was the perfect timing. I wanted to see a Super Bowl movie, and it's a Super Bowl movie, and it's 80 for Brady, 85 out of 100. And this spent a solid 16 days in first place of the year. Before being taken over and dropping all the way down to 12th. But yeah, 80 for Brady. These old ladies win tickets to the Super Bowl. Their dreams come true. They're headed to the Super Bowl to watch Tom Brady and the Patriots. That's the 80 for Brady. There's 80-year-old women for Tom Brady, rooting for Tom Brady in one of his Super Bowls. Coming in at number 11, I watched the original Dictator. Honestly, I think this one deserves a notch. I think this one needs to be taken down a notch. But the original Dictator movie, basically this guy is like very proud of himself for being a dictator, and then he comes to America, and it's a very comedic movie. Tons of, sort of inappropriate, non-PC jokes in this movie. And yeah, it's just a funny movie about this guy who loves being a dictator. And the sort of different scenarios he gets himself in. And there's a little bit of romance involved too, which is very interesting. Ooh. Alrighty, guys. Entering the top 10 movies of the year. Coming in at number 10. Boom, 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 boom. Creed 3. Creed 3 is about Adonis Creed. It's a boxing movie. It's a very good boxing movie. It was very energetic all the way through it. It kept you on the edge of your seat all the way through it. It has a fantastic storyline. It was very well produced, very well polished, very well acted. Everything in this movie was just really, really well done, and it kept you on the edge of your seat all the way through. I think it really helped that I saw this movie in D-Box as well. The seats that vibrate and move around while you're watching it was a very cool experience. I mean, I've done it before, but this movie was a very cool experience with that. Coming in at number 9, we have The Dream Seller. I want to make sure I'm talking about the right movies is the thing. The Dream Seller. Okay, yeah, so basically, what appears to be like God basically saves this man from committing suicide, and then they learn a bunch of life lessons after God stops this man from committing, or like a random guy stops this man from committing suicide. I'm not 100% sure, but it's very like nice and wholesome movie. It was very well shot, and I really enjoyed it. So yeah, I gave that a 87. Yeah, 87 out of 100 for 9th place. Coming in at number 8, we have Scream VI with an 87 out of 100. Guys, you guys know what the Scream movies are. A guy in a ghost mask, wearing a ghost mask, just goes around stabbing people a whole bunch. And these people know that like they're next on his list, and they have to survive, and they have to take down the guy, but they don't know who it is because he's wearing a mask. And I feel like you guys know what the Scream movies are, but Scream VI was shockingly very good, and it was shockingly a March release this year, and there's lots of shocking factors about this Scream movie, but it turned out to be one of the better Scream movies, I think, and it just turned out to be one of the best movies of 2023. To be specific, the 8th best movie of 2023 out of 150, guys. 8 out of 150. You gotta take that, right? Coming in at number 7, we have an underrated movie. Please Don't Destroy the Treasure of Foggy Mountain. Basically, these 3 friends figure out about this treasure in the woods and the forest, way out in the mountains. that would make them millionaires if they find it, and they go on an adventure to try to find it, and they run into like a cult, and then there's a few other things that's happening. There's a few other things that they have to navigate through. There's a few other like reasons that they want it. There's a little bit of romance, but it's basically a really nice adventure movie. Very not necessarily very comedic, but definitely very entertaining, very energetic, and just a very nice, fun movie to watch. I would highly recommend you check it out because it was very underrated. Not many people have heard about that one before. Coming in at number 6, we have The Holdovers. I was shocked that this one's rated so high, an 87 out of 100 for The Holdovers. Coming in at number 6. Basically, these group of kids don't have anybody to pick them up after school, after their like boarding school lets out for Christmas. A group of kids don't have anybody to pick them up, and then it all comes down to one teacher and one kid, and they have to learn to bond together, and they go through lots of cute and wholesome situations with each other, and a lot of comedic relief as well. And it's just a very amazing movie, very wholesome, and yeah. Coming in at number 5, we have the Barbie movie. Barbie was just a nice, fun movie, and it was a summer flick, dude. And they did what they needed to do. They just stayed fun, guys. It was just a nice, fun, joyful, colorful movie. Barbie. Oh, by the way, guys, the top 5 are my 90 plus club of the year. I gave a rating of 90 or higher to 5 movies this year, including Barbie, which came in at a 91 out of 100 to enter the top 5 at number 5. Coming in at number 4, we have Johnny, a movie about a real life priest, I believe, who passed away. A Polish priest by the name of John, Polish last name, I don't know. But a very wholesome movie about this outcast teenage kid with a bunch of problems, has to study under a priest to get a lesser sentence in prison, or to not go to prison or something. And then he has to work at a hospice center with this priest, and it goes through just a ton of life lessons with this priest. And it's based off a true story about, like I said, the priest. And so, yeah, it's just a very wholesome movie with a priest. Coming in at number 3, we have Vengeance. Guys, this is apparently 3. 3. We have the movie Vengeance, where basically this guy lives in New York and he hooks up with tons of women. Well, that turns around to bite him one day when a family in Texas calls him to investigate the son of his his very beloved girlfriend's death. He has to investigate it because he's an investigative journalist. And so he flies down to Texas to investigate this girl's death. And it's very entertaining and very intriguing throughout. And lots of very cool stuff happens. Lots of nice scenes that I really enjoyed. I think the writing for this movie was probably the best writing of 2023. Yeah, I would definitely say the best writing of 2023 for like an original movie, because the other top 5, like you could see, it's not as competitive for the writing. So Vengeance takes home the best writing of 2023, and yeah. Going in at number 2, we have Jesus Revolution, another true story of how this massive church in America came to be. This church basically started off very small and just blasted off in space. During the hippie revolution, they bring lots and lots of, drug-addicted hippies basically to Jesus and shows them the way in Jesus. And it's just it's a really nice religious film. It was in first place for 100 days before being taken over by my number 1 movie of the year. Can you guys guess what it is? The Machine with Bert Kreischer. About Bert Kreischer, produced by Bert Kreischer, acted by Bert Kreischer. Basically, Bert Kreischer goes to Russia to recover like something, and then he's on this train, and it's an action movie. There's lots of guns, but it's Bert Kreischer, so it's comedic as well. And yeah, so it's a comedic action movie that takes place in Russia, and it's just so beautiful, so well done, guys. Dude, the Russian setting on this, really good, dude. Really, really good. Love the setting, love the writing. Love the action parts to it. The action was like some of the best action we got in 2023, in my opinion, because it was some of the best action. Probably the best comedy movie of 2023, boys. So yeah, best comedy, best action, great writing, Bert Kreischer, one of the best settings of the year in Russia. Boys, so cool, great movie. Number 1 movie of the year with a 97 out of 100 and first place for 208 days in 2023. We have The Machine with a 97 out of 100. So, all 150 movies have been accounted for. We go from 97 out of 100 all the way down to 8 out of 100 and then back up. Some great movies, some horrible movies, and I feel it was a pretty mid-year all around. Everybody's saying it was a pretty mid-year all around. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please hit the like button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.